Spinosaurus. Longer than T-Rex. Not by a little, by 2 full meters. 17 meters of crocodile-jawed, sail-backed predator that could hunt fish the size of cars, walk on land between kills, and wade into rivers that would drown anything else trying to follow it. Scientists spent decades arguing about what it even was. A land predator? A water predator? Then they found the legs. Short, dense, built for water. Paddle-like feet. Bones too heavy to float passively, meaning it had to swim actively, which means it was strong enough to do exactly that. This wasn't a land predator that occasionally waded in after fish. This was something that crossed between two worlds and owned both of them completely. T-Rex had the most famous bite in the history of paleontology. Spinosaurus had the range. Land, river, coastline, anything unlucky enough to exist in any of those environments. What if T-Rex could swim? Spinosaurus already answered that question. The answer was 17 meters long and had a 6-foot sail on its back. Giganotosaurus, South America, 95 million years ago. A predator so large it hunted sauropods, dinosaurs the size of office buildings, and won consistently enough to survive as a species. 13 meters long. Longer body than T-Rex. Lighter skull, yes, but built for something entirely different. Not crushing, slashing. Its jaws opened wide and came down fast, leaving deep wounds that bled prey out over distance instead of killing through immediate force. It didn't need to overpower something 10 times its weight in a single moment. It needed to open it up and wait. Think about which death is actually worse. The prey that dies fast on impact, or the one that runs a kilometer before its legs stop working and it finally understands what happened back there. Giganotosaurus chose the second option, and it worked well enough to make it the apex predator of an entire continent. Carcharodontosaurus, shark-toothed lizard. The name tells you everything before you even look at a fossil. Blade-like serrations running down every edge of every tooth. Built for one purpose, slicing through flesh rather than cracking bone. Same general size range as Giganotosaurus, roughly the same era. Different continent, entirely different mechanical strategy. While other large predators bit down and held, Carcharodontosaurus cut. One clean bite. Pull back, let the damage compound on its own. Fossils have been recovered showing teeth embedded directly in titanosaur bone. Not a small titanosaur. The largest herbivores that ever walked on land. Carcharodontosaurus hunted them anyway, because when your teeth are engineered to slice through anything regardless of density, size stops being a deterrent. It becomes the point. More mass means more surface area to cut, more blood to lose, more distance before collapse. Utahraptor. Before you picture the raptors from any movie, forget all of it. Velociraptor was turkey-sized. Utahraptor was not. 2 meters tall, 6 meters long, 70 kilograms of dense muscle built entirely around a single primary weapon. A retractable killing claw on each foot, 24 centimeters long, curved like a surgical hook designed specifically for anchoring into flesh. It didn't use the claw to slash repeatedly. It drove the claw in, locked it, held the prey completely in place, and used the jaws and arms to finish the work while the prey couldn't move. The claw was a restraint mechanism first, a weapon second. And Utahraptor was heavy enough to hold down animals considerably larger than itself using nothing but that anchor system. The movie raptors were terrifying because they were fast and appeared intelligent. Utahraptor had all of that and weighed as much as a grizzly bear. It was real. It existed. Nothing in any modern ecosystem comes close to what it represented. Mapusaurus. Here is where the situation escalates significantly. Mapusaurus was already one of the largest predators in South America, 12 meters long, comparable to Giganotosaurus in raw scale. A solo Mapusaurus was already a planetary-level problem for anything sharing its territory. But the fossils recovered in Argentina weren't a single animal. They were multiple individuals. Different ages, different sizes, concentrated in the same site. Scientists debated what that pattern meant. The most supported interpretation, coordinated Coordinated group behavior. Not wolves, not lions. 12-meter apex predators potentially moving and hunting together as a unit. If that interpretation holds, the prey they were targeting wasn't anything manageable. Fossils in proximity included Argentinosaurus, possibly the largest land animal that ever existed. A single Mapusaurus versus an Argentinosaurus was already a difficult calculation. Multiple Mapusaurus working the same target simultaneously was something the planet has not produced again since. Nature invented group hunting at enormous scale. Then, it stopped. Carnotaurus. Everything discussed so far has centered on size and killing mechanics. Carnotaurus was about something different. Speed. 8 meters long, shorter than the others on this list. Lighter frame, different leg structure. Longer stride ratio, more efficient energy transfer through the hips. Some biomechanical estimates place it as the fastest large theropod on record. And then there's the face. 2 thick, forward-set horns above the eyes, sitting on a skull so abbreviated it looks structurally compressed. No other large theropod had anything like it. The horn's function remains debated. Display, intraspecies combat, or both simultaneously. What isn't debated is the effect. Carnotaurus looks like something a predator would hallucinate in its worst moments. Faster than nearly everything its size. Horns facing directly forward. Arms so reduced they were functionally vestigial, because Carnotaurus was built entirely around the chase and the impact at the end of it. Everything unnecessary was removed. What remained was acceleration. Tarbosaurus. T-Rex dominates every conversation about large theropods. Tarbosaurus receives almost none of that attention. That is a significant oversight. 9 to 12 meters long. Massive reinforced skull. Bite force engineered for processing bone directly, not just stripping flesh. It lived across what is now Mongolia and surrounding regions 70 million years ago, and it held the position of apex predator across its entire ecosystem without competition from anything in its size class. No rival predator in its range challenged it for that position. It was effectively T-Rex relocated to Asia. Same family, identical build philosophy, same ecological dominance pattern. The reason Tarbosaurus is less famous comes down to geography and museum distribution, not significance. In its own ecosystem, every animal in its range existed in constant relationship to whether Tarbosaurus had chosen to hunt that day. That is the only metric that matters for defining what an apex predator actually is. Deinonychus. Smaller than Utahraptor. Do not let that create any comfort. The reason Deinonychus matters isn't the individual size. It's the combination of brain-to-body ratio, the identical claw anchoring mechanic as Utahraptor, and the fossil evidence for coordinated behavior. Multiple Deinonychus individuals recovered in direct association with a single large prey animal. Same pattern as Mapusaurus, different scale. Fast, agile, running a precision anchor claw system in potential coordination with others. And Deinonychus did something beyond hunting. It forced a complete restructuring of how paleontology understood dinosaurs entirely. Its skeletal architecture was so fundamentally bird-like that it proved the evolutionary link between theropod dinosaurs and modern birds beyond reasonable dispute. So Deinonychus accomplished 2 separate things simultaneously. Hunted using coordinated precision mechanics, and happened to be the animal that confirmed every bird alive today is a living dinosaur in compressed form. Most predators only matter once in the fossil record. Deinonychus mattered twice. Which of these would you least want to exist alongside humans? Drop it in the comments. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you there.